Today on Smackey's Garage, we're going to be replacing the map lights and the dome lights in the rear on my 2018 F-150. We're going to go ahead and we're going to upgrade them from the yellow lights that came with the truck more to a bright white light from F-150 LEDs. So let's go ahead, let's start taking it apart. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the truck and I'm going to turn them off so that they stay off, and we're going to remove this. So this up here is completely held in by pins. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually pull it down and get it out of the way. Now, it's going to be pins on both the front and back. I'll take it off first so you can take a look to see exactly where they are before you pull it off yourself. But we're going to pull down those pins and then we're going to go ahead and remove the connectors that are holding this up. Now, depending on which truck you have and what features you have, you'll have different connectors on it. So we're going to look at the ones here, but make sure you double check that yours doesn't have extra ones. All right, well, that all came down. We got the back out, now let's get the front out. Okay. All right, now with that down, we're gonna disconnect these connectors, and you can see on mine, there's 1, 2, and 3 here. So I have the sliding rear window, and then the sunroof. Everything should be just disconnected. There's probably gonna be a pin that you push on that pulls this out on each one. All right, now that we have it out, we can bring in the garage and replace the lights in it. All right, now that we have this out of the truck, we can go ahead and start taking it apart. So we're gonna take out this Torx bolt and this Torx bolt right here. They're both T15, so just grab any T15 that you have and let's remove them. Now with both those out, we just need to take off this cover. And to get this cover, you can see there are 2 black tabs. You're gonna have them on either side that just need to be pried back. You just pry it back with your fingernail, and this cover should just come off. Make sure this doesn't get damaged on the way back. Now, we can go ahead and replace the bulbs. So on this, we're going to be removing this light here and this light here. Now, they're installed by these little heat stakes here, so it's a manufacturing process where they take a hot iron and it pushes down against it and deforms the plastic. So to take these out, we're going to have to essentially break them and take them out. That's the only way that you can take them out. So you can either pry on the bottom and get them off, or you can take a small screwdriver and try to break it there. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to first disconnect this connector. So just push this off, pull this cable out, and then you can see that the copper contacts are pointed down at the board, so we know that. Now we're going to go ahead, pry these off, and like I said, these are going to end up breaking off. Now with a flat blade screwdriver, I could get in there and just do this, but like I said, it's going to break that plastic. And you can see as I'm doing it, they're kind of bending straight. And with that bending straight, it's going to deform and break that plastic. Okay, now with that off, we need to cut these and make them flush. So I'm going to take some flush cutters and I'm going to cut them so that there's a flat surface for us to put that new light on. Or you can do the other method where you keep your finger over this hole here, which is where the light's going to go, and then just file everything smooth. This is probably the better method than to try to use a tool to cut it. All right, now that those are done, we're going to go ahead and take the lights out of the package. From here they are from F150 LEDs. Now there should be 2 in there, and they should look pretty much like the other ones that we just replaced. Now they do have 3M tape on them, so that's what we're going to be using to adhere it. So make sure the surface is nice and clean and nice and flat before you try to put these on. Now we can go ahead and see it, and you can see the LED here. This is just going to fall into place there where the other one was, and then it's going to connect just like the OEM one. So it should still have the 4 connectors like the other one did. Let me go ahead, I'm going to slide that in, copper pads down, and then close this on it. After it's all the way in, you close this. You can see it's in place, it's held, a little tug, not a strong tug, we'll show you that. Then we're going to go ahead and take out this 3M tape and then push it into place. Now with that out, I'm going to go ahead and drop it right into place. The LED will go in that hole. I'm going to hold it down for a few seconds just to make sure it adheres. All right, now we're going to go ahead and just do the same process on the other side to replace it. You can see it's the exact same thing over here. Just need to pry this up, take out this part, and replace it with the other one. Then we'll go ahead and show putting this back on, then in the truck we go. Okay, now with that done, we're gonna go ahead and put this cover back on. So we're gonna clip it into place, and then put those 2 screws back in, and then just connect everything back up in the truck. I'm gonna make sure this wire is in the right location, because I'm guessing it's important so that it doesn't get pinched. Now, with that, these 2 are going back on, and then I am done. Now let's go back in just the opposite way. We're gonna go ahead and reconnect the back wire first. This order doesn't matter, it's just the way that I took it apart. Then this one, we're gonna reconnect this. I should just be able to push it back up into place. Just make sure none of the wires get caught as you're doing this. So these are these fun forward clips and pins. And look at that. Turned on because I hit the button there. But I can already tell that these are significantly brighter. Let's go ahead and take a look and do the back. Then we'll come back and look at how these look at night. But yeah, they're definitely cooler white than the previous ones and definitely brighter. All right, so quick look at the interior lights. You can see it's significantly brighter up there with those interior lights than the previous ones that are back there. And it's a much nicer white color. Now, I think this is a great view at night of the truck, and it is definitely much brighter inside the truck. So let's go ahead, let's take care of those rear domes and get everything to match. So I got this kit from F150 LEDs, and this kit you can use to take apart a lot of the interior parts and not damage anything. Now what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use this to take out the rear dome lights, and I'll show you exactly how I'm gonna do that. So let's go head out to the truck. Now for the rear dome lights in the truck, I'm gonna use this, and I'm actually going to put it onto here, and I'm gonna pry up and remove it. Now, it shouldn't be too bad of an issue to remove, but like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off all the lights first before I do this with the switch that's up front. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put it under here. It's like the perfect fit for this, so this is the tool you use, and you can see it's starting to pull out. It just has those pins on it. We're gonna go ahead and pry it out. Both sides, so they'll be held in. All right, now that you have that pulled down, you can see that one connector here that you just push in the pin and remove it. Okay, now with this out, we can go ahead and take this apart. Now I'm gonna take the tool that has the very sharp end over here, and I'm gonna stick it in between the lens and this plastic housing, and I'm gonna pull it apart. Careful as I do this, just not to damage anything. But there are pins in, I think, each one of the 4 sides. Okay, everything's out, nothing's damaged. Looking at this, this is centered, so shouldn't be too much of an issue to go ahead and pull this out now. And the board came out with it, so everything came out as one piece. So we have the board, we have the switch. Make sure I get that in the right orientation. It only fits one way, so that's good. And we're gonna replace this board with the one from F150 LEDs. Now here's the boards that they sent me. Now let's go ahead and check them out. Now, similar design to the one that's there. You can see they do have different LEDs on either side, and they also have a similar LED in the center for the button. So you're not gonna lose any functionality from this. Now, to put it in, we're gonna put it in just like the one that came out, and make sure this is in the right orientation so that this connector is pointing out and back. Slide that in. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put this on top, so I have the button. While that's on, I'm gonna check the button functionality. Works correctly. Then we go ahead and put the lens right on top, just same way it was before. 4 snaps on either side, and you can see button still functions, everything's good. Now let's go ahead, put it in the car, and we'll double check to make sure that it is still powering up as it should before I put it into place. All right, so in the truck, we'll go ahead and plug this in. All right, some things I'm noticing right away is that light is now much brighter in the center rather than the OEM one. So if you see the OEM one, you can pretty much barely see that LED in the center, but on this one, it's much more visible. And when I check it, the lights work, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything together. So now that this side is done up here, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side over there, and then we'll check out how everything looks. All right, well, it's finally dark out. We can go ahead and take a look at the lights inside the car. Now, the first thing you're gonna notice is how much brighter these actually are than the OEM ones. Now, you can see it's definitely significantly brighter inside. You know, it's not that dark out right now, but overall, when you look in the inside of the truck, it's significantly brighter. I will say I'm really impressed with the amount of light that these give off, and the interior looks significantly brighter and everything is very well lit up. So really happy with the way that these LEDs work. Now, both the rear dome and the front dome you can get from F150 LEDs. I'll list exactly what they are in the description of this video. Now, sitting in the truck, you can see how bright these are. So it's definitely dark out and there's a significant amount of light being put out from these. And I really like the color that they also put out as well. So very happy with them. You know, the install only took about an hour to do both the front and the rear. And I was able to do it with the tools that they sell on their site. You know, you can do it without the tools, but you know, it's easier to have pry tools so that you don't damage any of the interior pieces or the headliner. I'll make sure that I list what these parts are down in the description below if you want to check them out. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in to Smackey's Garage this week. I'll see you next time.